What you're looking at here is an illustration that shows that we do have indeed the ramp on, but the pit temperature is not reducing to meet the internal temperature, which is the whole purpose of the ramp. It just stays steady. So I want to apologize for all that cussing, but kind of get the point across. I was not happy. It's been months later. We are now in April. It is April 4th when this is recorded.
Hello, my name is Pop Daddy. I've been on the barbecue scene about 20 years. My first product review was Rock Stoker back in 2007. And not long after that, I became a fan of the BBQ Guru. I knew the owner, well, the inventor, Fred, who passed away. I've judged their, I was one of the first judges at their first Shotgun Fred, so we kind of go way back, so I'm kind of a little disappointed. I'm going to explain to you very quickly what the ramp feature does and how the product is defective. This is the typical way that one would use some type of fire management device. This red line signifies what the pit temperature internal is that your meat is cooking at, and this green line symbolizes the internal temperature of your meat. Now, typically, your meat rises, but your pit temperature, unless you change it, stays the same. It rises, you got your little, your stall, and then it comes up in here. And what you don't want, let's just say if you want an internal temperature of 200 degrees, you don't want it to overshoot that, right? So so even though you have this working, you got to really, really keep an eye on it. And until this ramp feature, you never had any control over that. You would have to manually lower the temperature. So that's the way this works. Now, so this is the way the ramp feature works on the Ultra Q by BBQ Guru. We have the pit temperature is 275. I've set the internal temperature, just like I did over here, at 200. And this axis right here represents time. So we have the internal temperature rising, but what we don't want to do is overcook the meat. We all know that if we have something in the pit at 200 degrees, we pull it off, set it on the counter, it's going to rise as many as 5 degrees. And that can be crucial to getting your barbecue done. The other day I did some pork butts, for instance, and this feature failed. I was depending on it. I did some pork butts, and I was right there. I was looking at it. I was like 185 internal temperature. I turned to do something else. I came back. Boom, it's 215 degrees. Now, what happens here with the BBQ Guru, the Ultra Q, is that when it gets within 30 degrees, I think that's what the instruction means, 30 degrees of what your desired internal temperature, it begins to automatically ramp down this temperature. So, as you can see, by the time you get to the internal temperature, it has met, and then, of course, will hold that meat at that temperature. So no more overcooking. You can literally just put something in, and as long as your fuel stays, you theoretically you're going to walk into non-overcooked meat, because once again, the ramp down of the pit temperature matches the increase in the internal temperature until it gets to the maximum, so it doesn't overshoot it. So, as you can see from the documentation I'm going to show you, that feature doesn't work, and ended up costing me a lot of money.
I presented your issues to the engineering department. After researching the problem, they did find that there is something wrong with the program code for the ramp mode on Ultra Q, which must have occurred during the previous update. This is something we were unaware of, so thank you for bringing it to our attention. I have put fixing this issue at the very top of the list as a priority for the next update. And that's also from Tim. So, the message reads, Donnie, as stated in my previous message, I presented your issues to the engineering department, who found a problem with the programming code for the ramp mode on the Ultra Q. This is the reason why you are having trouble using it. Correcting this issue will be a top priority for the next firmware update. The other issues you have mentioned in a previous correspondence have also been added to the list of future fixes. We do not have a firm date scheduled for the next update yet. However, if you want to sign up for text alerts, blah, blah, blah. I had asked a question that was something along the lines of, hey, why don't I go back to the previous version of the firmware when it worked? And Tim admitted that he had been tempted to do this himself, and it didn't work. It says, unfortunately, the app will always make you update to the newest version when connecting the Ultra Q for the first time, so there's no way to go backwards. I tried to do this on mine and was unable to. And there's only one other message that kind of, only one that ever got on my nerves, because they were pretty good about responding to me. So one of the only strange things I had is he said he wanted to clarify the statement about the ramp mode. It is not disabled or doesn't work, which grammatically doesn't seem to work for me. It is just not as fine-tuned as it's supposed to be, if that makes any sense. The program code for it needs some adjusting to get it to work more efficiently and accurately. Well, I've been through 4 different units that they have sent me. 4. And none of them have worked at all. Not one little bit. No one adjustment. So the feature does not work. Period. End of story. So I don't know what that was about. Maybe he wrote that before they figured out how bad. And the final correspondence, well, we've talked, I've asked them repeatedly if they're fixing it. November 17th was, he wrote, the glitch should be fixed during the next update. I don't have an exact date, but I'm hoping sometime early next year.
Our engineering people have determined that that is indeed a defect, but yet they didn't pull their product. They kept selling it through Christmas as if it wasn't defective. And the bad thing about this is that even though mine was made after, for instance, somebody else's, everybody who hooks to the internet using the Ultra Q, everyone, according to this email that they say, everyone, when it upgrades to that new firmware, the ramp feature, which used to work, will no longer work. And they have been in no rush to fix it. We are now in the second quarter. They told me before Christmas, I think, maybe even before Thanksgiving, I think. Yeah, because I had to use some other product. I had to use the pit barrel smoker in order to do my Thanksgiving whatever. They told me it would be the first part of this year, and guess what? Nothing. Trudnak, has resigned. I don't think that has, it may not have anything to do with him. He's pushing his own product line, and maybe pushing your own product line that you're responsible for is easier than pushing a product that is defective. I had made several arguments. One of the arguments was you should notify all your customers that this product is defective and don't use that feature. And it seems to me that if everybody is getting this for that feature, or getting it because of the internet connectivity, everybody has to register with their email, so it's possible for them to email all of their customers that this ramp feature doesn't work. Now, brisket is not 88 cents a pound anymore. Brisket is approaching $3 to $4, maybe even more, depending on, that's just select, depending on the quality of the product. Now, imagine using this Easter of 2021, and it worked fine. You put your brisket in, went to sleep, woke up to a brisket held right at 200 degrees because of the ramp feature. Imagine putting in a Wagyu brisket, and then having it overcooked at 210, 215 degrees. So according to, not me, well, of course I found it out, according to emails, directly from BBQ Guru itself, they have a defective product. And one of the reasons, there are two reasons why you would buy the Ultra Q. One is internet connectivity, and the second is the ramp feature. And you're paying a premium price. I paid $400. I think they're about $350 now. But they're not telling their customers that their product is defective. This just doesn't seem to be the company that I know, and I hope they turn it around. But their product is defective, and they don't seem to be in any hurry to fix it, because I pointed this out. We discovered it in October, and it is now the second quarter of 2022, and every time I write them, we don't know when it's going to be fixed. And it's a software issue. It's not like the product is defective, the hardware of the product. I can say that I've gone through, I don't know how many, probably about 7 probes, one power thing that their power supply only is warranted for 90 days. I think I got it replaced on the 89th day or 88th day. I was kind of shocked because the actual unit itself is 2-year, and the Ultra Q unit has been replaced 4 times. This last time it just went dead. So I don't know what's going on with their product, but I would wait a while before I purchased anything from them again. And I've been with them since the beginning. This has been a hard thing for me to do. I knew the product was defective and was confirmed that the product was defective before the end of this year. I think before Christmas. We'll have to take a look. I can give you the email. And I have thought about it. I've worked on other projects. I have probably about 6 hours worth of video to promote the product, specifically this particular feature. And although I do get written back, at least I used to, they're in no hurry to fix it. And it's a software issue. So, product beware. And this, by the way, incidentally, since Rock Stoker's, which I endorsed, but first it had a defect, a power supply defect when you hook 2 fans to it. Rock Stoker's, if you remember the barbecue stoker, that was 2007, 2008. I haven't knocked a product since then. And this is one of my favorite products. So.